Welcome to the Kingdom Culture Podcast that was created on purpose with a purpose to empower, uplift, and guide others to the center of God's perfect will. Kingdom Culture family, welcome back to the Kingdom Culture Podcast. This week we're going to talk about communication, but how to actually communicate assertively so that you are actually heard, understood, and can set boundaries without disrespecting other people or sounding too harsh. I've always had a problem with this because I love people so much, and I'm always trying to be the better person. I'm always trying to be kind and loving and accepting. But for a moment there, I felt like I lost my voice and my opinions and my boundaries because I could not communicate assertively in a way where I didn't hurt people's feelings. They didn't feel like I was being too pushy or anything like that. And so from that, I took it upon myself to really look at myself and see how I could communicate better, and be sure to be straightforward without disrespecting other people. So, assertiveness involves setting and maintaining boundaries to protect one's rights, values, and well-being. Through assertiveness training, individuals learn how to identify their personal boundaries and communicate them assertively to others. This skill is essential for establishing healthy relationships, maintaining self-respect, and preventing exploitation or manipulation by others. So this is actually a skill, right? It's a skill that we need to develop like anything else. It's a skill to help us with our relationships, our friendships, our workspaces, and to help us actually, take conflict and be able to resolve it in a good way as well, right? So here are some things that I started to do to help me with this. So, I had to identify specific situations where I needed to be more direct or more assertive, really try to understand what I was trying to get across. What is the point? What was the point that I was trying to make to people? What was the boundary that I actually wanted people to grasp? And when I did that, I was able to actually use better communication. So I'm talking about the way that I spoke, the tone of my voice, my body language, my eye contact, the way that I portrayed myself. Being assertive doesn't mean that you have to have this hardcore kind of attitude. You can actually be very straightforward and direct, being empathetic to other people. So I've actually been able to take my body language, because your body language says a lot, and be able to adapt to the room and the audience that I'm in front of so that they can actually know what I'm trying to go across, right? Me being in the position that I'm in at work, I'm dealing with people every day, all day. So the way that I speak, the way that I present myself is very important. So being assertive in an empathetic way has helped me a lot to understand that other people are just that, people. They have their own things going on. People always have things going outside of their work. And we have to remember that being assertive doesn't mean to be mean or judgmental or show this, type of hammer type of behavior, right? So that helps me a lot. I use I statements a lot. So when expressing my needs or concerns, I use I to take ownership of my feelings and experiences without blaming or accusing others. So an example I can give you is when I'm talking to my husband and we're having a conflict or something, I've told him like, hey, I really did not like how you said that. I feel disrespected. I feel like you're not counting on me. I feel like you're not, respecting my boundaries. And I would really like for you to take that into consideration. Can we relook at this together so that we understand where the hurt's coming from, or why it's so hard for us to actually agree on this specific thing. So using I to express how you feel, and everything else is a good thing. Don't dismiss yourself. Don't dismiss your feelings. Don't dismiss your emotions. Don't dismiss how a certain situation or whatever else made you feel, because it's valid. Right? Another thing that I've learned is, like I said, my body language. Pay attention to the body language that you are, putting out there, because those are nonverbal cues. And use relaxed gestures. I feel like that's helped me a lot, because when you have relaxed gestures, the atmosphere of the room changes, right? Because if you're like uptight and really like, like people will we catch up on that. As humans, we feel it. I don't know if you guys have had those conversations where you walk in the room and you just feel like it's heavy. Or you talk to a specific person and it's really hard for you to actually want to be around that person because their body language or just their being is so heavy. So your body language is very, very important. So always try to be relaxed. Always try to be, confident and keeping eye contact. Don't act shy. Don't act like timid either, because when you're timid, the other person might take that as like, oh no, they're not serious. What they're saying is just to say it, right? So stay confident. Make sure that your body language is always, always right and relaxed. And make sure that you speak with confidence, because we as humans, I feel like we try to dismiss ourselves sometimes to make the situation easier for the other person. But if you're confident in what you're trying to say, if you're confident in the way that you're trying to express yourself, the other person's going to take you seriously, because if you matter to them, they'll listen. So again, body language is very important. Express your thoughts, feelings, and needs respectfully. Avoid passive or aggressive communication styles and strive for a balance between advocating for yourself and considering the needs of others. So I try my hardest not to sound aggressive or mean or yell or, just sound angry, because I myself don't like that at all. So like if somebody's yelling at me, I kind of just drop it and walk away, because that's not communication. To me, when somebody's yelling, it means that, they're doing it out of anger, and anger, we know, comes from frustration, and anger also roots from the person feeling like they're not being heard or considered. So it's the reaction from them feeling unvalued and unheard and unconsidered. So for me, when somebody's yelling at me, I just kind of disconnect, and I'm not really paying attention, because I don't find that to be a respectful way to speak to other people. So I kind of disconnect. So always, 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 always try to be respectful. Try to keep your tones at a normal level. Try to understand where the other person is coming from when they're expressing their feelings or whatever else, and like tell them to take a break. Be like, hey, I know that you're feeling a little frustrated. Your frustration's a little high. Your voice tones are a little high. Can we take it down a notch and actually, work towards a solution together? And that helps a lot too. So try not to be passive or aggressive when you're trying to communicate with people, and when you're trying to listen to somebody that's trying to communicate with you. I've also, like I said, I've taken proactive steps to improve my communication, right? So this means that I'm studying styles. I'm finding the balance between advocating for myself and considering the needs of others. So before, I would just consider everybody else but myself, and so now I'm learning to advocate for myself in a respectful and confident manner, where the other person is actually going to understand where I'm coming from. So being assertive, again, doesn't mean that you have to have this strong-willed, very scary voice or presence for the other person to understand. I feel like communication is a lot of different things, and being assertive sometimes can be misinterpreted as being the go-getter, the one that gets things done and is heavy-handed, but you don't have to be that way. I remember one time somebody said, hey, Abril, I know that you're nice, but sometimes, you have to be, because they will not respect you. They will not give you what you deserve, right? So again, taking proactive steps to understand where I'm coming from, and how I want to communicate is very important. And the last thing, that I've come to really practice or hone down to is self-compassion. Because assertiveness is a skill. It takes time and it takes practice to develop it. So being patient with myself and being compassionate with myself, that sometimes when I communicate, maybe it doesn't come out right, or maybe it doesn't, deliver as well as I want it to. I have to remember that, hey, you know what? I'm still learning this. I'm a very kind person. And that's okay. Kindness always wins. At the end of the day, kindness, I feel like, is what we're called to be as people. Like, if there was more kindness in the world, a lot of things would be a lot easier, I feel like. But sometimes I do get frustrated when somebody doesn't get what I'm trying to say or respect my boundaries, and that's okay, right? I can feel frustrated for somebody not understanding where I'm coming from, but self-compassion for myself and others is very, very important, because people are people. You're human, I'm a human, and we need to respect one another enough to understand that communication skills are very important when dealing with one another. So, it took me a long time to realize that being assertive didn't mean to be mean or loud or that I needed to yell. It means that you are good at communicating your needs and boundaries. And just like everything else, it takes to be intentional and want to incorporate it into your life. By incorporating assertiveness training into your personal development journey, you are cultivating the confidence in communication skills and self-respect needed to navigate life's challenges. But you have to do it with grace and resilience, because you need to, maintain your respect for yourself and other people. And like always, I want to leave you guys with a Bible verse. And the Bible verse for this week is actually found in Colossians 4:6. And it says, "Let your conversation be always full of grace and seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone." So that right there tells you, like, you have to be full of grace. You have to be, gentle with other people. The Lord calls us to be in community with others, so having good communication skills and allowing yourself to set your boundaries in a respectful manner will help you in life, right? Anyways, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you found some value in this podcast, and if you did, please share it with somebody, forward it on, share my YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll see you guys next week. God bless.